Hey, Brian from Garage Hall. Today we are replacing a lever action door handle because round doorknobs are just boring. But anyway, so we had a pretty aggressive dog and he would chew on this anytime somebody knocked at the door. So basically, it's garbage. It's destroyed. We also have a Samsung electronic deadbolt, which is basically our primary way of locking our front door. It's got a keypad on the front, which is really cool, as well as like a key entry, and you can use like one of those fob things to open it. So we really don't need anything that's locking or fancy here. We just need a doorknob that works. So it's pretty easy to change. And let me apologize ahead of time. I have such a glare coming off that front porch. It's going to get a little hazy looking, but anyway, I do apologize. But anyway, so the only thing you really need is a Phillips head screwdriver. So what we're going to be doing is basically just removing these two Phillips head screws that are here on the other side, and it's a weird angle sometimes to get in there, so just be patient with it. But basically you're taking this screw out, and that comes out. That's the old one. We'll put that on the floor out of the way, and then this one on this side, obviously you're going to have to drop the door handle down a little bit to get to it, and I mean, it's really that easy. Just kind of hold a little tension on this, so now I can get this one last screw out. So that last screw is out completely, and what happens is this just pulls out and apart, and you can tell this thing is just it's seen better days. So we're going to pull it out from this side. So I mean, you can tell how that just kind of it's all falling apart. Then there's the barrel lock on the inside here. You have two Phillips head here as well. So we're going to disconnect that. That's in there pretty good. So, like I said, it's basically just with a simple Phillips head screwdriver, and you're done in just about no time. Okay, so keep in mind the orientation of how you're pulling this out. So the slope side is kind of like pointing. It's kind of like pointing inwards, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So pull this out and through, and then you can kind of see how this little lever, side angle, 45-degree cut in there. It's kind of like pointing in towards the house. That's how you want to do it, because you're going to have your skid plate here. That's going to basically ride along. Now, another thing is to take a look at your barrel length on this. So this one, you can actually set it by you push this down. Well, this lock's destroyed. I'll show you the other one. But you have two different settings depending on how deep your door is. So this one is set for 2 3/8. Most locks will show you what it is, so just pay attention to that. And we put it on the floor. Again, keep the correct orientation. And then this is our new lever lock that we're putting in. So you're going to open the box up. So in it, you basically get your new piece that goes inside the door, and your new doorknob. So let's put that off onto the side, and we're going to concentrate on this kit right now. So this is your basically like kind of like your barrel lock, and you know how I said have this pointing, so it's pointing on the inside part of your door. So again, very simply, and orientation we're looking at, so it's 2 3/8, same as the old one. So we're not going to mess around with that. But if you needed a deeper door, you basically just kind of push down on this top button here, and it basically slides out back and forth for you. So push down on this, and when they're new, they're a little sticky. That's why it's kind of like joggling it a little bit. But basically, that will adjust the depth of your door. So we're going to keep it on the old one. We're going to put that right back in the door. Really simple. And then we're going to look for the keys. The screws. All right, so we're going to look for the two screws that go to that. They're basically just like small wooden brass screws that are in here. And so these are those two little brass screws I was telling you about. And they're the wood screws, so they have the little sharp tip on them. And we're basically going to softly put that one in on top. I'm going to turn our screwdriver, since this is one of these fancy dancy screwdrivers, we're going to start spinning it. And then we're going to put this bottom screw in, and it should line up to the old holes. So basically just kind of like, just start gently screwing it in. Alright, so that's the top. This is the top. How's the bottom? It's a long weekend, but it's like we could just. Alright, so we got that one in, that one there. So, I mean, that's pretty simple. And then we do have the skid plate on the outside, which is also basically just two Phillips head. Very easy to replace, but that's that one. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not even going to bother showing you, but it is pretty simple. Next, the complicated, not so complicated part. All right, so this is your doorknob. So obviously, it has one side that has your screws for security purposes. Obviously, the screws go to the inside of your house. The blank side, which is the outside, goes to the outside of the house. So basically, you are just pulling this apart, and you're sliding this in. And it's kind of hard to see, but I can show you on the old one. So what you're doing is you're basically just sliding that piece right in there. So it's really simple. So you just slide the doorknob into that piece coming in from the outside. Really simple. You're going to slide that in. Okay, we're good. Line up. And then you'll see how it has like little line-up holes for the screw barrel. So you can kind of see how I will be lining that up, and then see how that goes in there. So that's the orientation that you want to grab. And again, we'll insert it through here. We'll line up those holes. And then this side of the doorknob, you're going to be basically just kind of doing the same thing. You're going to be lining everything up, and then that goes in. Pretty simple. And then you have your two screws, which are the non-wood screws. And try not to lose them, but okay, here we go. So you have these kind of like flat end. So there's really no tip in. Oof, I'm a little greasy. Okay, so you put one in on one side, and you'll kind of make sure you do it by hand, and try to get as straight as you can, and you'll be able to feel when it gets lined up with that barrel, which it does. It takes a couple tries, but once you have it lined up straight, you'll feel it grab the threads, and then you can gently start putting that screw in. And you don't want to make it super snug at this point. You just want it to kind of like hold, because the next part we're going to do is we are actually going to put the lever down on this side, and we're going to line up that screw. And it's going to take a couple shots until you can kind of feel it line up. Okay, so I got it. I'll pull the lever down, and then I will start putting that screw in on that side. And this one, it's okay to make this one snug, so it's going to pull everything basically together for you. And snug, you don't have to make it like, you know, He-Man tight. And then we'll come back to this one. And I think I got that good. And then there is our new door. And it's okay if they stick, they'll wear in a little bit. You can probably give that a little squirt of WD-40. And other than that, that's locked. I'll unlock it, and then my new doorknob is installed. Anyway, Brian from Garage Mahal, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.